Hello? Is anybody out there? Can you hear me? Welcome to the 100 TV. Real conversations with real people.
All of this has been an evolution. Nothing about this journey is how I thought it was going to be. You know, shout out to the Free Game Society, man. Shout out to everybody, Team 100. Shout out to everybody that just keeps rocking, that understands what's going on here. We're just trying to make changes without compromising the truth, right? We're not up here just for the views. We're here for the impact. But you know, you be the judge, man. Lock in with us. We can agree to disagree, you know. But regardless, we're gonna keep it 100. You can't keep it 100 with anybody unless you keep it 100 with yourself, man. Let's be clear. You gotta come correct, man. They'll pick you apart nowadays, man. People doing homework, you know what I'm talking about? So when we talk, we talking from a perspective of experience. We talking through the life journey, our ups and downs. You know, we giving it to you that way, right? But who are we though, man? We just like y'all. You ready? Alright, well, come on in, we going in. The 100 TV. Y'all better tap in, man. Like, follow, subscribe, hit the notification buzzer, all that stuff, man. So when we live, y'all live, man. Become a part of the conversation, man. It's not my platform, it's our platform. 100. You just let that ride, man. You know what I'm saying? 100. That's all I know. Yeah. Peace, planet Earth. It's a wonderful, yes sir. It's a wonderful Monday. What's good with you?
Man, it's a beautiful Monday. Happy day, happy people, happy world. Hello, world. It's good to see y'all. I'm so happy to be here. I'm sad, but I'm happy to be here.
Hopefully y'all motivated on this Monday.
Yeah.
And that's really it, man. If you breathing, you blessed, and thank you for being here with us. The 100 TV, as we expand the boundaries of conversation, the borders of conversation, always coming from a real place. And today we talking about money or financial freedom or just positioning yourself the best way when it comes to finances. We consider ourselves qualified to speak on it because a lot of times you have people that will tell you what to do, but they never did it.
Yeah.
We have taken the time out, you know, to sacrifice and take the long path and all that. And trust me, we not rich. We definitely not that. But we're starting to break some, I guess I want to say some financial curses or you know, curses, as they say, that have affected and impacted our families for a long time. We are business owners, we are homeowners, etc. And today we really want to get into the importance of why it's important to be in those lanes, and why it's important to know the language when it comes to money. A lot of us, man, we can make money. We can definitely make money. And can't nobody work harder than us. But a lot of us don't know what to do with money after. A lot of us are still subscribing or prescribing to the old laws of just saving money, rather than taking your money and putting it into work. But we're going to get into all that. We're going to definitely have a real conversation, real candid conversation. Me and the missus over here, half her face is blocked by the name. I don't even know. She's so short.
Money motivational Mondays is what I wanted to say.
Money motivational Mondays. Yeah. So we got, I was going to say financial freedom Fridays, but it's not Friday. But what are your thoughts just right off when it comes to the two words or the term financial freedom? Matter of fact, I'm gonna fire off a couple of different terms. You can give me like your short break down real quick, like in 20 seconds or less. So first one's financial freedom.
Financial freedom should be your ability to be debt free, or at least have financial obligations that you're able to meet without having to rob Peter to pay Paul. Literally having a budget, sticking to your budget, and never paying a bill late, always paying bills on time. For me, that's financially freedom. You don't necessarily have to be debt free, but you can be, free from having the responsibility of thinking more ahead or not being prepared.
What about financial literacy?
Financial literacy, I think about just the learning of financial everything. Just the education of what finances are and how to utilize those finances to get ahead from day to day. Rather it's in your everyday life, rather it's in business, but being knowledgeable of how money works and what it takes to get more money.
That's financial literacy to you?
Mm-hmm.
Financial literacy to me is knowing the language of money. It's understanding the difference between good debt and bad debt. It's knowing what credit, why there's 3 credit scores. It's knowing what a business credit. It's just knowing the actual terminology, the actual language. You can't. I stress. Anybody knows me. I'm big on communication and effective communication. And how can you be successful in any place? Or able to do trade. If I go to Saudi Arabia right now,
Mm-hmm.
I will be hindered in my ability to do trade because I don't know the language over there. I don't know the customs, laws, practices, etc. So to me, it's knowing. It's the knowledge part. It's the language part.
Got to be able to speak money to make more money and to understand money and what it can do for you. So you got to be able to speak the language. Salute and thank you.
I got you on the comments too. You ain't got to worry about that. That's salute to Brother Willie. I had pulled that up, brother. Salute to everybody that's been hopping up here, man. The big brother right there. I want to say, what was the next thing? What are your thoughts on what's the difference between, really quick, a bank and a credit union? Because this is a common question.
Banks are owned by corporations. Credit unions are typically owned by people. So the board normally consists of a community of people that started the bank when it first merged or when it first came into existence, and it's normally passed along like generation to generation. Banks, that's your corporate structures. So they typically have like higher bank fees, more fine print, whereas credit unions, they normally have lower interest rates than banks typically have. You get benefits like they normally, let's just say you get an overdraft fee, they will normally give you a courtesy one time a year versus banks. It's really hard to dispute these things. So it's just a lot more beneficial. Even when it comes to car leases, you can buy down your contract, slide it over to the credit union, get a lower interest rate. You know what I mean? Houses, affordability, is just easier to work with a credit union because they're more people friendly.
Anthony says, I believe it's Anthony Goldman, says, great topic, nothing more rewarding than closing on your home.
Man, tell me about
it. It's also the number one financial investment.
Salute.
Some people argue that. I believe it is. We are blessed. We are in the process of purchasing our second home. We told everybody about a program where you didn't have to put any money down. It's a FHA program. It's not one of these get rich quick schemes and nothing like that. We even gave the information out to our real estate broker. I don't know if anybody followed up, you know what I'm saying? But we're in the process of being able to do that. We utilize that program. Next to nothing, we'll be able to move forward, because we took the time to build our credit, do other things, but also marks getting into real estate because we'll be keeping our first home. And now it's a rental property. And now it's no longer a liability, because some people say when you live in a home, it's a liability. And when you renting it out, then it becomes an asset. But if you own a home, which we're going to get into real estate and all that, if you own a home, that means you can pull out equity And
Yep.
equity is money that you can invest into another property and keep it going, or whatever it is that you want to do. Yeah, another business. So yeah, salute to everybody. Anybody that thinks that feels like they're not gonna be a homeowner, man. Just it might take more work. I know she'll probably get into some things, but it can be done. Like it legitimately can be done.
And I just want to say one thing, and it's not really a correction, more so an update. The information for that FHA financial program, it's a FHA loan that you can qualify for if you already don't have a current FHA loan. This is not a conventional loan, it's a FHA loan, which means typically you only have to put down 1%, which is the earnest income when you're trying to gain the property. So the only thing you would have to put down is 1% of the purchase price. And depending on what type of contract you have, you actually could get that money back or even more. It really just depends on certain things. So I gave out that information. I also gave out my lender's information. He is qualified to do these deals in certain states only. And I know it's only 4 states. So that is one thing that I would probably just reach out to him and email. Once we're done, we can put it in the comments, the information again. You can go back and you can get the information. But if you are staying in this area, you have a 600 credit score. That's literally all you need. Consistent employment normally is for 12 months in order to qualify. 2 years of your tax statements. And just everything just needs to be in order. Just showing that, you know, in your bank account, you haven't had any overdraft fees. You haven't went into the negative in your accounts. Showing consistent payments on your credit report. Not having delinquent accounts. If you've been taking these steps and you have at least a 600, which normally it's a 640 to qualify, they keep predicting that interest rates are going to continue to go up. Right now, houses are at 7% if you were to close right now. So the interest rate is going to continue to grow. I don't know what's going to happen in the next couple of years. And that's why we wanted to get in front of you guys today. You're going to need something. Everybody needs more income. We see prices are continuing to rise, but you're going to need more than just that. Equity is the best way to go. You know, it's a for sure thing. Someone always needs a place to stay. It's just always, that'll never go away.
A couple of comments says, I'm so team credit union. I preach it constantly to all my friends and family. This is my favorite topic. I love it. Keep up your beautiful cycle of knowledge, peace and love, life and family.
Yes.
Shout out to you.
Peace and love to you all too.
I think that was Buddha. And then excellent point made, family. Peace, April. Language and terminology, the money economic system as a science of life itself. You are in it for greater financial independence.
Definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
Financial independence, the goal of the hustler is not to, well, I guess it depends, right? But the goal is to own all of your time, to own 100% of your time. It's not about a dollar amount. There's different ways to get to that goal, but it should be to own 100% of your time. Anthony says, I suggest everyone take a home buyer course before speaking with a lender. Yeah, or find a trusted broker. Always do your own resource though, or research for sure. Like definitely do your own research. Did you take a course?
No, but I feel like I kind of did get a crash course. So I actually signed up for NACA. So NACA is also a program where they have lower interest rates where you can get a home. I heard of people getting lowest interest rate as low as 2.5%, but that was like probably about 4 years ago. I'm sure it's different now, but I'm almost sure it's probably lower than whatever the national rate is. It's always lower than the national rate. I was with them. It's a lot more stricter. However, it got me prepared to, you know, when I was able to purchase my first home. So you had to take a class just to show that you were even committed. You had to go through, I don't know, it was like 4 hours to sit through something, a seminar first, just to show that you're serious. After that, then you get the contact information. Somebody reaches out to you. They sit you down with basically a financial counselor. Once you sit down with the counselor, they're going to give you the steps of what to take. The only thing you'll have to pay for this service is the credit, whatever the credit fee is to pull your credit application. It was under $20. So I did that for about a 1 year, and there was, I had to bring back certain stuff. They showed me how to get my credit in order, what steps to take. But I also learned after that experience, I also learned right through Quicken Loans. I kind of did the same thing because it's up in Detroit. Talked to a couple of people that I know that work up there, and asked about that process. Went through the same thing, and they showed me how to boost my credit score right away. So with that was like education within itself, as far as just the hit and miss, not really knowing, kind of just trying to figure out and navigate my way. Obviously, I've read different books on finances and things like that, but to actually go through the process step by step, I think without actually going through it, you kind of just don't know, what to expect. I was under a contract that failed, that I kept extending, for good reason before this home. And then this home closed in 15 days. So, it's kind of like one of those things, is hit or miss.
Get you a good realtor too.
Oh, no.
Shout out to
our realtor is awesome.
Realty, realtor, account, everything.
Yeah.
Anthony says NACA is probably the #1 program for first-time home buyers.
Yeah, NACA's a good program. A lot of different testimonies. I met a lot of great people. I just found the process for the office down here in Atlanta, it just seemed like they were very overwhelmed. And I just didn't have, the patience anymore. And I just decided to go a different way. And I was like, I'm just going to figure this thing out on my own. And one person led me to another person. And shout out to my first realtor too, Lynette. She was awesome and helping me find, my first home. And then we met Audrey with the commercial, and then that's how we began that. Yeah.
I want to shift it
really
quick.
Yeah, let's go.
One of the #1 reasons couples break up is financial issues.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't know how the next person spends. So I want to talk about spending and budgeting. Like, how important is saving, budgeting, spending, invest, like those principles, if you will?
You have to be disciplined. This is something that I've been wanting to say for a long time. And those who know me and those who are closest to me, we had these type of conversations. But you have to be disciplined. If you don't own a piece of property yet, if you don't own your home and you're on your way to home ownership, you have to be disciplined with your spending. That's the first thing that they're going to tell you. So you can't get that McDonald's that you normally get, that Wendy's, that Starbucks, that, that extra beer on the way, after work, it's just certain things that you're going to have to cut down on, because when you're trying to raise that credit score, and you're trying to show how much money you can save, you're going to have to put aside a certain amount. Even with NACA, you had to put aside a certain amount of money that you could not touch. Mm-hmm. So it's still the same thing, no matter what type of program you're going with, especially if you're a first-time home buyer. You're going to have to be strict. You're going to have to put money away that you can't touch and you can't spend, which means, if you have children, you have to be able to incorporate that into a budget and stick to it. If you don't, and you're just, maybe you're just a young person, you in your 20s and you just got out of college, and maybe, you going into paying back student loans, and you want to make sure you don't fall behind on that. It's the same thing. You still have to allocate a certain amount of money just to save, where you can't touch. You cannot do just random spending. And for me, I've never had a problem, and I'm not saying everybody has to do this, but I've never had a problem going to Goodwill and then putting the clothes in the washing machine and then wearing them over. I've had to do that before. I don't have a problem going to Ross or, TJ Maxx or Burlington Coat Factory if necessary. Like, my spending, I cut my expenditures. Even as far as Dollar Tree, I'm not going to necessarily go to Dollar Tree if I know I can find something else somewhere else for 80 cents. Like, I budget and allocate money all the way to the least common denominator.
I told the young boy, I said, I get 2 pairs of shoes a year. on average, and he went crazy. He was like, "Big bro, you supposed to be out here."
You know what? I'm serious. I don't. And people, oh my God, people that know me know me from probably over the last 20 years. They'll tell you like I'm one of them people. It don't have to be bags. You know, some people is bags, some people is jewelry. Mine's was just Jordans. I like Jordans and jumpsuits. You know what I mean? I like that. That's my look. I was always a tomboy. That's my look. Like I always had a fresh pair of J's, you know, and some nice little kickback type stuff. That's me. You know what I mean? But when you are budgeting, you know, I'm gonna go without them Jordans to be able to have $40,000-$50,000 in equity. That's just me.
I'm gonna sit out.
You know what I mean?
I'm gonna sit out this summer.
So I'm gonna be still. I'm gonna be in my little bubble, and that's what I'm gonna do. And I'm not gonna spend anything. So you have to be able to make that that adjustment to just cut off certain spending habits. And I know we do it, you know. And for some people, it might be pop. You know what I mean? For some people, it may be cigarettes. You know what I mean? But it's going to be something that you're going to have to give up in order to push a little bit further, save a little bit more. And in some cases, you know, some people may have to pull it back and kind of, you know, suffer in some areas.
Yeah.
But I mean, hey, the payoff.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's not. I don't know, sitting out saving money so I can so I have money to invest. It does. It no longer hurts my feelings because I understand that things are so unstable now in the economy, and you're looking at things like artificial intelligence and all this. And then I was incarcerated, so there's a gap when it comes to my Social Security. So I'm now becoming more and more like, oh no, I'm trying to save this money. If I don't go here, that means I can save 100 and take this 100 and invest it in a vending machine or something. So I think like for me, budgeting, spending, lifestyle, etc. It has to become a lifestyle. It has to become a culture. But you have to keep in mind it's temporary what you're doing, and it's by choice. The difference is you're doing it by choice now, so later on you don't have to. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people, they're gonna have to because they're not choosing to do now. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's my approach. He says, get that 401k, all right, something's gonna pay off. True indeed, man. You can always, you know, for the brothers that got gaps in their employment, you can always invest your whole 401k, etc.
And those who are in the workforce. You know what I mean? That 401k is a big possibility. When I was with Hyatt, I'm sorry, I wasn't even supposed to bleep that out. When I was with the hotels, I was a part of it, and I had a 401k, and they match up to what, like 6% at the time. So, you know, and shout out to them because, you know, there's nothing wrong with what I said, but they match literally up to 6%. So 6% is good. If you with a company that matches up to 7%, that's like free money, you know, but you got to be able to, it's a match. It's
something, you invest, they throw in.
You know what I mean? So it's like some of this stuff, you got to be able to take some type of risk. It has to be some type of risk that you take. And that risk may be, hey, you know what? I got to cut down, you know, for a little bit.
Talk about the risk. All right. So it was funny. I was having a conversation with a brother, and he was like, man, I wish I could predict the amount of money I would make month one if I invested in a business. And I was telling him, when we opened the school, you know, shout out to every single business owner there is. Yes. There's no such thing as a small business. No
business owner. If you are a business owner,
you a business. If you manifesting something out of your thoughts into the physical and you pushing it and you believe in it, then salute to you. I'm gonna tell you about my journey and experience. When we had a t-shirt company, it wasn't that scary. You know what I'm saying? Because to me, there's levels or you know what I'm saying, risk reward or investment or whatever it is, right? And man, when we got to school, we had to sign a lease. And when you lease commercial space, I can tell you it's not like personal space, right? It's gonna be more expensive because they're expecting you to make a profit off of that property. That's why you're doing business there. And I remember times we were looking up and we were calling some of the same people 6 times, 6 times, just trying to will a student in the door because we were fighting to get out the green. and it's hard to do initially. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what discourages a lot of people because of the risk, the fear, etc. What do you have to say in regards to the overcoming the fear or the risk of because for me, salute to everybody that works a 9 to 5. Listen, not only are we business owners, I work a 9 to 5. It is what it is. If you first open a business, I don't care how successful it is, you might want to keep your 9 to 5 because if nothing else, it'll be additional money you can invest, or it might be the money that's there for a rainy day because business fluctuates. But like I said, for me, the goal of the entrepreneur is to own 100% of their time. The true goal of the hustler. So what do you say to those as far as that desire, that type of lifestyle, 100% of their time, be able to pick and choose when they get up and
absolutely
because there's fear attached to it.
I feel like first of all, I was a worker. You know what I mean? I believe I was on the other side of the fence of I wasn't full-time entrepreneurship because I knew that as long as I had stability in a job and I had a check, I was able to have the building blocks in order to secure a home. So that's where I was when I was in that lane. Now, hair has always been something that I've done on the side. Everybody, I've been doing hair since I was 11. You know what I mean? So doing hair, that's something that is just always, that money's always going to be there. So I've never just been in the hair industry full time, and never. I would always say start with something that is going to have the least amount of a return. Like if you were to invest a certain amount of money, start off small. Maybe start off with a business where it's only going to take maybe $500 investment, $1,000 investment, whatever it is that you can put towards it to see what type of return you yield. Once you've done that and you see the numbers, you can kind of decide, hey, is this something worth giving a try? Are you going to be able to take that type of time, put it into it, nurture it, build it, develop it? If you feel like it's not, worth it, then you move on to the next thing. We started with the t-shirts. The t-shirts turned into literally not even a food truck, but like a food table. Yeah. So now we're serving food outdoors. We actually get the truck.
Shout out to my business partner, Ace.
Yeah,
man.
Shout out to Ace. So we stopped from serving food on the side of the road on MLK to actually getting the truck for the food truck. But now we get the food truck, they flip the food truck. You know what I mean?
Sometimes there's luck involved.
Hey, and they say, forget it. We're not going to. So now the work got a little bit easier. The return was more. Now, the time that it took in order to make it happen, that's a whole nother margin. So you got to consider that. But how much work did you actually have to put in? How much effort in order to get this return? That's why a lot of people go into real estate. They don't mind working for, a month for that client to get a really, really big check. You know what I mean? So, and that check, as long as you know how to budget and allocate money and you have a target in mind, you can still live the way that you want to live and work for yourself. So it's still the same thing. But we started off small. We didn't start off with putting $10,000 into something or, pulling out our entire savings, or, just taking everything we have and just taking a chance without taking the baby steps to get to a bigger thing. Like we started off small, saw if that worked for us, and then it led us to the next thing. Once we got to, this goal, we still have to discuss. It's either now or never as far as the school thing. This is the opportunity. This is our window of opportunity. Same thing. We have another window of opportunity. The lease is not forever. You know what I mean? So everything has, had steps along the way. It's all progressive. It doesn't just start in such a big way where it's a whole lot of money involved. You know what I mean? You only should be able to put up what you can afford to lose. So if you're going to put up 500, it needs to be 500 you don't mind losing.
Because you might lose.
And
a lot of, and here's the thing,
yeah, babe.
A lot of us with first generation entrepreneurs, There's no wealth in our family. It's already established. Therefore, a lot of us don't know. So it's like to anybody that's ever played poker. Sometimes you got to spend money to learn how to play poker, right? Some of them lessons you're gonna have to learn in order to sustain your business and grow your vision or whatever. You have to pay for. Like for real, we've had a couple times. You know what I'm saying? I wish we was perfect, all that, but the thing is, it's making sure you got a good idea of the board. It's understanding where you want to go.
Yeah.
It's having vision, and then it's understanding there's no perfect time. That's what I wanted to get to. There's literally no perfect time. You're either going to be stressed 9 times. This is for my people that desire to be 100% independent. You're either going to be stressed working for somebody else, supporting their dream, because if there was a quote, they will pay you so you won't chase your own dream, and you'll supply theirs. Or you're going to be stressed chasing yours.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's the goal. You know, that it's for me, if I'm going to be stressed, let it be because I'm trying to manifest my own, my dream, my vision, my goal. Final thoughts. We hopped up here. We're going to do a part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5, part 6 on the finances. Final thoughts, though, on this one.
It's all, I just feel like everybody should have some sort of financial independence. We are in the generation with the millennials. 83 is still millennials. So we don't know what Social Security is going to be left for us. People that, because what if you don't have 401k? You need to be able to secure something, either cash flow, reserves, trust, something. So when you get older and we don't have the energy for it, you'll still be able to survive. And I'm thinking about the future now. Yeah. I'm 40 now. So I don't want, I might be youthful or young. I could say that all day, but at 50, I can't do the same thing that I could do at 40. I'm already at a place where I'm realizing I can't do the same thing as I was doing at 20.
Man.
So
I don't even want to think about that.
So in 10 more years, I'll be 50. So this means that I have this for me, I have a chance.
10 more years, I'll be 30, in case anybody's wondering.
I need to do this now. It's like a now or never type of thing for me. And I just want to be in a better place so that I don't have to work so hard at 50. That's just what it's always supposed to be about that. However you're growing and however you're evolving, it should get easier. The older we get, it should get easier. It shouldn't be so hard. And I don't want to have it hard just because my parents had it hard. I don't want to have it hard just because my grandparents had it hard and they retired from, my grandma, she retired from Michigan Bell. You know what I mean? And that's what she believed in, 401k. And she could live off of that, $200k that she saved. How many people can live off of $200k if they retire at 65 and they still live into 80? That don't exist no more. So $200k is not going to do nothing for you. Cost of living is different now. Yeah. Cost of living is different. You're going to need more. It's going to take more. So we got to do something now because the later is on the way.
That's it, man. For me, I said it earlier on one of the posts. It says smart men learn from their own mistakes. Wise men learn from the mistakes of others.
Indeed.
Bottom line, that's why we're up here, to have discussions, talk about stuff. We wish we had people to network. Not saying we don't, but we wish we had more, because a lot of times you're stepping in the paths that nobody else that has. So we'll be getting up here talking about more about this stuff. We'll be getting into business startup. Yeah, I already went over all the. My wife is catching up on the comments 4 hours and 57 minutes later. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to everybody that while you was going in, I was definitely moderating over here.
Thank you.
But you know what I'm saying? It's just about that. It's just about getting together, networking, touching on these different topics, not just finances, relationships, whatever, community, etc., entrepreneurship. Whatever it is that we're getting into, that's what it's about. Shout out to everybody that continues to join us on the platform here at the 100 TV. And shout out to my wife. She just did an interview on Hip Hop Network TV. That was fire. Yes, so with Nona Carey.
Shout out to Nona Carey and friends.
Yeah, and a bunch.
Her in Tokyo.
Yeah, Tokyo Tony. And shout out to everybody, man, that is just building, going forward, advocating, and being a voice for anybody. Anybody that's just trying to do better. And if you want to get involved with the seminars, if you are a leader, teacher, instructor, or not, if you're somebody that maybe knows about website development or anything that you can lend towards We God, Weaving Educational Genealogy, Occupational Destiny, which is a 501c3 started by my brother Jefferson Ellie. Hit me up, message me. We're looking for people to give lectures and facilitate groups, do pieces, inspirational pieces. We need poets, we need artists, we need everybody. I'm calling everybody to come and join me and my brother, Miss Erica Holiday, his brother Aaron, just everybody that's pushing this thing forward, man. So each and every one of you, have a blessed day. We're out. We're about to get back to more work.
Peace and money manage.
Money manage, man. Financial freedom, one step at a time, slow and steady wins the race.
Yes.